Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to do what I think is my final review on the Shield Arms Z-9 magazine for the Glock 43. Okay, so the standard Glock 43 OEM magazine is 6 rounds. Okay, and versus the Shield Arms Z-9, which is 9 rounds. So it's 6 plus 1. So this is a total of 7 rounds in the gun. This is 9 plus 1, so this is a total of 10 rounds in the gun. Okay, so I've been testing this for almost 3 weeks now, under lots of different conditions. I've been shooting this at 65 yards. I've been shooting this close at about 45 feet. I've done moving and shooting it one-handed in my offhand while moving. I've done lots of testing with it, and like I said, I probably have shot at least 500 rounds, closer to 600 rounds. And my conclusion is that the Z-9 magazine will reduce the reliability of your gun by 1%. Okay. So why am I saying it will reduce the reliability by 1%? Because here's the thing: a lot of people will say that their gun is 100% reliable. And there's just no gun that is 100% reliable. And I will prove it to you guys right now, just so that we kind of get that out of the way. Over here, I have a factory Glock 17, all OEM parts. Over here, I have a Glock 17 OEM magazine. Let me put a couple more rounds in here. So like I said, I do a lot of one-handed shooting, moving and shooting, a lot of that kind of stuff, which is very practical because in a self-defense type of situation, okay, you may not come out of the holster and do perfect presentation, right? If somebody's beating you over the head, you might be like this or like that, or on top of the hood of your car, shooting. So you may not have a perfect grip on the gun. So under those type of realistic conditions, you might get a jam. And one of the things I tell people, don't depend on your gun, depend on your skills. Okay, you got to develop the skills to be able to work through all those conditions. Let me put my ear pro on, and I'm going to fire a couple of shots with this OEM gun to prove that it's reliable. Second, I'm going to intentionally jam up the gun for you guys. So I'm going to fire a couple of shots just as I talk. Okay. Now I'm going to jam up the gun. Okay. There you go. I jammed up the gun at will when I decided I wanted to jam up the gun, right? And that's with a factory OEM gun that if I shoot it the way it's meant to be shot, is reliable. However, with bad form, under weird conditions, any gun, any semi-automatic gun, can be rendered unreliable. So that's why I say, so that's why I say that it will reduce the reliability of your gun by 1%, because under certain conditions, right, a gun that is dependent on the recoil to operate, because in order for this gun to work, the frame has to stay steady while the slide is running back and forth. If this is held loose, slide doesn't come back all the way, basically the gun's going to either fail to eject or fail to feed. Okay, so that's why I say that it reduces the reliability by 1% from whatever level you're operating at. You might be the type of person that only goes to the gun range and shoots perfect isosceles triangle and never jams up the gun. And yeah, you'll have a perfectly reliable gun in an unreliable world, because that may not be the way you would be shooting the gun in a self-defense type of situation. But anyway, moving on, let's focus on this magazine. Okay, so this is the Z-9, and here's the problem. Okay, here's a Glock 43 OEM magazine. I'm going to put this in, okay, and what I'm going to do is pay attention right here between the ejector and the top of the magazine. I'm going to wiggle this back and forth. I mean, let me put my glass up so I can see, but there's a little bit of movement there, right? There's a little bit of movement there as I move this back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to put in the Z-9. Okay, same thing. I'm going to move this back and forth with more movement. There is a significant amount of movement. It's a tiny amount. It only decreases the reliability by 1%. Now, one of the things that amplifies this is with the OEM flush magazine, right? When you hold this, your fingers are not on the magazine, right? So when I hold this like this, I'm really not stressing out that magazine, okay? However, with the pinky extension, when I put that in there, my pinky is on that magazine. And depending on what I'm doing, like if I'm shooting at distance, I may have a much firmer grip, or if I'm shooting one-handed here, my grip might be a little bit looser, or, just because I don't have two hands on the gun, I'm shooting one-handed here. So as your grip changes, that's going to change the amount of pressure on this magazine, which is going to change, the angle over there, which is going to potentially cause nose ups or nose downs, depending on how that's angled. Okay, so again, let me put in an OEM, and I got like 2 OEM magazines here, and they're both doing the same thing. They're both standard, moving same amount of movement. I've got like 10 of these, so I've already checked all of them. It's the same in all of the OEM magazines. Very little movement front to back. With the Z-9, there's more movement over here, front to back, okay? Now, is it possible that this is a defect? Yeah, it's possible. I did email Shield Arms, and I asked them to sell me, to do a bulk sale. I was willing to buy a whole bunch of these to test out. The way I bought it, the way they were selling it, you had to buy the magazine release plus the magazine together. That's the only way they were selling it a couple of weeks ago, which was a combination of $60. Now, I didn't need more magazine releases. I just needed more magazines. So I was contacting them, trying to buy this from them. They never got back to me, which is not good as far as Now, granted, I didn't. I mean, customer service gave me an email to their marketing department. That's the direction that they sent me in. But that's what it is. So is it possible that this is a defect? Yeah, it's a possibility. But here's the thing, if I had, let's say, 4 of these, I could say that, okay, now we got a defect rate of 1 in 4. Or if I had 10 of these, I could say it was 1 in 10. But I only got 1, so right now it's like 100%, okay? So again, it's that back and forth movement, okay? And let's dig a little bit deeper into this. I've got calipers here, OEM magazine. And I don't think the numbers matter that much. I'm basically just using this as a measure. See how that, okay, I've locked that into place, yanked that out, put the shield arms in there. Okay, it is a little bit looser. See how that's a little bit looser? Go back to this one. That's tight. Like, see, I got to really force it in there because I put this really tight. See how that holds it? Okay, that's the OEM magazine. That's the other OEM magazine. Okay, I got to kind of force it in there because I got that set so tight. Let me give you guys the reading in case, let's see, it looks like it's a 1.1297. 1 inch, then it goes 297. That's on the OEM one. So with the shield arms, like I said, see how that's moving pretty freely. Let's clamp this down. Let's loosen this up and see if we can get a measurement on this. All right, so this came out to 1.29, somewhere between 4, closer to 5, 9.5. All right. So there's a tiny difference front to back. Now when I measure this side to side like this, I don't see a significant difference. Like when I lock this in place here, all right, get this out, put the shield arms in there. Yeah, see how it's going in nice and tight. See how that holds in place with the shield arms? Okay, so side to side, they're the same. Okay, just front to back, there's a slight difference. And again, I don't know if it's just this one that's got a defect, or if this is how they made it, or because I'm sure that the engineers at Shield Arms have a pair of calipers. There might be a reason why they had to go a tad bit thinner, as they changed the magazine body. I don't know, but it's I mean, this is undeniably going to cause a problem, right? I mean, you can see there's a difference between how much this moves. Actually goes up and down too. See, there's a little up and down movement, up and down, and that the up and down movement would be caused by the cut over here, because basically that cut locks into the magazine release, and this is their magazine release, so it should be perfectly sized. So the fact that there's a little up and down movement, and then back and forth, hence the inconsistency. Let me put the yeah, so when I put the OEM magazine here, even though this is their magazine, see, when I go up and down, there's a little bit of movement, but not much. If I go front to back, hardly any. Up and down. Let me I'm curious on this one. Yeah, so there's going to be a little up and down movement, because that's an OEM magazine release. Let me go back. A little bit of movement there. Let me go to shield arms. Yeah, I mean, up and down, there's a little bit more movement. I mean, it's kind of hard to measure, but as I push, there's a little bit more movement there. And that's with their magazine release, front to back, you can see it. So I think that's the cause for the increase, for that 1% increase in the failure rate. And like I said, the way I train, I'm gonna jam guns up, right? So that's why, I'm telling it to you guys the way I'm telling it to you, because I know how often these guns jam up when I'm draining with them, and I can see that there's clearly a slight increase. Okay. Now, one of the things I have mentioned this in prior videos. Let me put this gun back together. What the initially when you buy this magazine release is going to be really tight. So what's going to happen is, because initially I thought that this was going to be a problem. I thought maybe I would have to file down the magazine release. It's a good thing I did not, because it's going to break in. So if I get behind the camera here, you see how the paint comes off? That's fine. That's actually as the paint comes off, the magazine release is going to work better. That's not a problem. Okay, that's fine, because at this point, after so many rounds that I have fired, this drops the way I think it's supposed to drop. Okay. Okay, see, that works fine. If you look at the first video I posted on this, I thought that was going to be an issue. It's not an issue. Other thing I thought was going to be an issue is the barrel ramp hitting the front of the magazine. It's not really. I mean, there's a little bit of wear there, but I think that's. I mean, it does sometimes, I guess, touch it, but it hasn't bent it or really deformed the steel in any way. So that hasn't really been an issue. That just hasn't been an issue. The issue is this front and back movement. Okay, so like I said, it's going to increase the failure rate by 1%. I mean, take it for what it's worth. I mean, would I use it for training? Sure, why not? I mean, I can reload less often. If I do occasionally get a jam or an extra jam, because like I said, I get jams the way I train anyway. right? You guys saw me jam up that OEM Glock before. And that's just more opportunity for me to practice unjamming the gun. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have some questions, comments, put them below. Give me your thoughts, your experiences. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe on YouTube. I got 3 channels. I got Absolute Guns, Pocono Shooting, and the original Safa channel, which goes all the way back to 2006. And then on the uncensored platforms, right? On Rumble, no, on Rumble, I'm Pocono Guns, and then on where are we? On Gunstreamer, Huge Tube, and shit, what's the other one? I forgot the name of the other one. On those 2 that I can remember, I'm Pocono Tactical. I can't believe I forgot the name of the other network. I'm on a BitChute. I think over there I'm Pocono. It might be Pocono Guns. Who knows? I got so many channels on so many different platforms. I can't keep track of them anymore. But I'm doing this to try and stay ahead of the censors. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you all soon. Odyssey. That's the name of that other platform. Odyssey is spelled ODYSEE.com. And over there, I am Pocono Tactical. Talk to you all soon.